Everyone's talking about the cheapest states in America, but let's be honest, you don't move to a state, you move to a town. So today we're digging one layer deeper. The 10 cheapest towns inside the 10 cheapest states to live in America. We're not talking about fancy suburbs or booming metro areas. We're talking about the places where you can still buy a house for the price of a used pickup truck. Where property taxes are so low you'll wonder if they forgot to bill you. And where your cost of living isn't a monthly battle to survive, but something that actually leaves you with money in your pocket. From Mississippi's bargain cities to Tennessee's mountain hideaways, these are the towns where affordability isn't just a selling point, it's a way of life. So buckle up, because we're about to travel across America and see where your dollar really stretches the furthest. And trust me, number one on this list will make you question why you're still paying big city prices. Elizabethton, Tennessee. Elizabethton might just be Tennessee's hidden affordability gem. Tucked into the Appalachian foothills in Carter County, this small town delivers mountain views without mountain-sized bills. The median home price here is around $234,000, far below the statewide average of $334,000. Property taxes are calculated at $1.57 per $100 city value and $2.03 county, with residential assessments at 25%. That works out to an effective property tax rate of about 0.9% of market value. It's a bit higher than Tennessee's statewide average, but still under the U.S. national average, keeping ownership affordable over the long haul. The cost of living in Elizabethton is 2.7% lower than the national average. Generally, housing in Elizabethton is 2.3% less expensive than the national average. You can expect to pay 5.2% less for groceries, 9.3% less for utilities, and 14.3% less for transportation. Elizabethton has a lower overall crime rate, 28.73, compared to the national average, 33.37, with both violent and property crime rates also being lower than the national averages. On the bright side, residents get easy access to Johnson City just 15 minutes away, where you'll find larger hospitals like Johnson City Medical Center, shopping, and more job opportunities. Combine that with the Doe River, Watauga Lake, and endless mountain trails, and Elizabethton offers the kind of lifestyle where your paycheck actually stretches, and you still get scenery that money can't buy. Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson is Mississippi's capital city, and while affordable, it comes with trade-offs. It delivers low housing costs and a cheap cost of living, but also struggles with higher crime and infrastructure issues. The median home price in Jackson is about $98,000 compared to the Mississippi statewide average of $192,000. That makes homes here cheaper than in most of the state. Mississippi's property taxes remain among the lowest in the nation, averaging just 0.52% of market value, keeping long-term ownership costs light. The cost of living in Jackson is 9.8% lower than the national average. Generally, housing in Jackson is 20.1% less expensive than the national average, with rent falling between $937 to $1,185. You can expect to pay 2.4% less for groceries, 16.6% less for utilities, and 14.8% less for transportation. Crime is the biggest drawback. Jackson's overall crime rate is well above the national average, with both violent and property crime playing a role. Safety varies by neighborhood, with some suburban areas ranking far better than the city core. Still, Jackson offers urban amenities. It's home to University of Mississippi Medical Center, state government jobs, and cultural attractions like the Mississippi Museum of Art. For bargain housing with big city access, Jackson is affordable, but it's not without challenges. Quick question for you. If you could buy a house dirt cheap, would you be willing to give up a little sense of security to make it happen? Personally, I think these towns make up for it with other amenities, but I'd love to hear your take. Drop a comment below, and while you're at it, don't forget to like the video and hit that subscribe button. Forest City, Arkansas. Forest City, nicknamed the Jewel of the Delta, is one of Arkansas's most affordable towns, offering rock-bottom housing prices with easy access to both Memphis and Little Rock. The median home price here is about $73,055 compared to the statewide average of $220,000. That's less than half the state average. Property taxes remain low in Arkansas, averaging about 0.63% of market value, making long-term ownership very affordable. The cost of living in Forest City is around 28% below the national average. Crime is a significant issue. Forest City's overall crime rate is higher than the national average, with property crime being the most common. Some neighborhoods are safer than others, but newcomers will want to choose carefully. On the positive side, Forest City provides affordable small-town living, access to outdoor activities in the nearby Crowley's Ridge State Park, and a location that keeps you within driving distance of two major cities. For sheer affordability, it's one of Arkansas's cheapest options. Woodward, Oklahoma. Woodward is one of Oklahoma's most affordable towns, offering low housing costs and a small-town lifestyle in the wide-open plains of the state's northwest corner. The median home price is about $132,000 compared to the Oklahoma statewide average of $218,000. Property taxes in Oklahoma average about 0.85% of market value, keeping homeownership affordable long-term. The cost of living in Woodward is roughly 20% below the national average. Crime in Woodward is slightly above the national average, with property crimes making up the bulk of reported incidents. However, crime rates are considerably lower than in Oklahoma's larger cities like Tulsa or Oklahoma City, and many neighborhoods remain fairly safe. Residents benefit from access to Alliance Health Woodward, the largest hospital in the region, and enjoy local amenities like Boiling Springs State Park, plus hunting, fishing, and rodeo culture. With its ultra-low housing costs and modest living expenses, Woodward stands out as one of Oklahoma's cheapest towns to call home. Beckley, West Virginia. Beckley is a classic Appalachian town where affordability takes center stage. Known as the gateway to southern West Virginia, it offers low housing costs and a small city lifestyle surrounded by mountains. The median home price in Beckley is about $150,000. The average effective property tax rate in Beckley is 0.72%, keeping long-term ownership costs comfortably low. The cost of living in Beckley is roughly 22% below the national average. Crime in Beckley is above the national average, with property crimes accounting for most incidents. Certain neighborhoods are noticeably safer, while others report higher rates. Still, violent crime rates remain lower than in many U.S. cities. Residents have access to Raleigh General Hospital and nearby outdoor attractions like the New River Gorge National Park and Preserve, famous for rafting and hiking. With bargain housing and natural beauty at its doorstep, Beckley is one of the cheapest options in West Virginia for those chasing affordability over glamour. Selma, Alabama. Selma is one of Alabama's most affordable towns, offering low housing costs and a rich yet complex history. Known worldwide for the Edmund Pettus Bridge and its role in the civil rights movement, Selma today is a quiet, budget-friendly community on the banks of the Alabama River. The median home price in Selma is about $90,000 compared to Alabama's statewide average of $235,000. Property taxes in Alabama are the second lowest in the country, averaging only 0.41% of market value, making long-term homeownership exceptionally cheap. The cost of living in Selma is roughly 30% below the national average. Crime is a concern. Selma has an overall crime rate higher than the national average, including a violent crime rate higher than the national average, while its property crime rate is slightly lower than the national average. On the positive side, Selma offers access to regional health care through Vaughn Regional Medical Center, plus nearby outdoor recreation along the Alabama River. For pure affordability, Selma ranks among the cheapest towns not just in Alabama, but in the entire U.S. Ashland, Kentucky. Ashland is one of Kentucky's most affordable river towns, tucked into the northeastern corner of the state along the Ohio River. With Appalachian Hills as a backdrop and easy access to both Ohio and West Virginia, it delivers small city living at a fraction of the price. The median home price in Ashland is about $118,000 compared to Kentucky's statewide average of $224,000. Property taxes average around 0.72% of market value, which keeps long-term homeownership costs comfortably below the U.S. norm. The cost of living in Ashland is 9.8% lower than the national average. Generally, Housing in Ashland is 21.6% less expensive than the national average, with rent falling between $561 to $994. You can expect to pay 8.9% less for groceries, 3.6% less for utilities, and 5.4% less for transportation. Crime rates in Ashland sit slightly above the national average, with property crimes being more common than violent crimes. Safer neighborhoods exist, but newcomers should choose carefully. On the bright side, Ashland is home to King's Daughters Medical Center, a major healthcare provider in the region, along with cultural amenities like the Paramount Arts Center and miles of riverfront recreation. For those seeking affordability without giving up essential services, Ashland stands out as a strong option. Waterloo, Iowa. Waterloo is one of Iowa's most affordable mid-sized cities, offering cheap housing and a solid community in the heart of the Midwest. With manufacturing roots and a growing healthcare presence, it blends affordability with stability. The median home price in Waterloo is about $150,000 compared to Iowa's statewide average of $233,000. Property taxes in Iowa are a bit higher than in other cheap states, averaging around 1.49% of market value, but lower housing costs help balance things out. Waterloo's overall cost of living is 13.1% lower than the national average, making it a less expensive city compared to other U.S. locations. Crime in Waterloo is slightly higher than the national average, with property crime driving most of the numbers. Violent crime is present, but remains concentrated in specific neighborhoods. Safer areas and family-friendly suburbs exist around the city. Residents benefit from access to major employers like John Deere and healthcare providers such as Unity Point Health, Allen Hospital, as well as local colleges and recreation along the Cedar River. For families and individuals seeking affordability without losing city amenities, Waterloo makes a strong case. Neosho, Missouri. Neosho is one of Missouri's most affordable small towns, sitting in the Ozarks just 20 minutes south of Joplin. Known as the City of Springs, it combines natural beauty with some of the lowest housing costs in the state. The median home price in Neosho is about $220,000. Property taxes average around 0.84%, significantly lower than the national median of 1.02%, but lower than the Missouri state median of 1.2%. The cost of living in Neosho is roughly 20% below the national average. Neosho has a higher crime rate than the average U.S. city, ranking in the 22nd percentile for safety. The overall rate is about 36 crimes per 1,000 residents each year. Residents enjoy access to outdoor attractions such as Big Spring Park and Crowder State Park, while still being close to shopping, jobs, and healthcare in Joplin. With cheap homes, modest taxes, and a safe small-town vibe, Neosho is one of Missouri's most budget-friendly places to live. Coffeyville, Kansas. Coffeyville is one of Kansas's cheapest towns, known for its Wild West history and bargain-level housing. Located near the Oklahoma border, it's a small community where affordability is the main selling point. The median home price in Coffeyville is about $82,000 compared to Kansas's statewide average of $243,000. Property taxes run higher than many other cheap states, averaging 1.6% of market value. But extremely low home prices keep overall costs very manageable. The cost of living in Coffeyville is 27% less expensive than the national average and 12% less expensive to live in than the average city in Kansas. Crime is a challenge. Coffeyville's overall crime rate is above the national average, with property crime being the largest contributor. It doesn't rank among the safest towns. Those smaller neighborhoods tend to feel quieter. Residents benefit from local healthcare access through Coffeyville Regional Medical Center, as well as a community college and easy access to outdoor recreation along the Verdigris River. For sheer affordability, Coffeyville is one of Kansas's cheapest towns to put down roots.